Of Carolina Sports Talk starts now.
Can y'all feel that? Can you feel that thing that's oozing out your doggone hands? That thing is beating your doggone chest right now. Can you feel that?
Almost. Welcome back to another episode of Carolina Sports Talk. As always, thank you for tuning in on your favorite podcast app. Next time, tell your smart speaker, play Carolina Sports Talk. You can hit us up on the Carolina Sports Talk line, Cliff, at carolinasportstalk.net, or you can join us, as some of you are right now, live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live. We out here. TikTok, y'all see us at Carolina Sports Talk. As always, welcome in my main man and yours, DJ High Star, in the building, Patriot Patty Studios. My dog, what's popping, bro?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy 2024, Kobe year. We out here. Let's go. Yeah.
You buried that already. You see, you're starting early. He had that on the docket, but there you go. All
Kobe year, all year. Let's go. 24.
Just when they count you out, Big Cliff, come with some social media. Yeah, you beat me to that one. So how you doing, man?
Oh, you were going to use that one, the Kobe year?
Now you getting it. Yeah, now you catching on. Yeah, man. How's it going, though? How's the new year been treating you?
So far, so good, man. Started 24 out, closed out 23 on a strong note, getting some good work and all that good stuff in. And then 24 has started off with a bang. You and I had opportunity to kind of kick it a little bit through the weekend. We had a chance to celebrate one of our frat brothers, a regular contributor, checking in with the show, my dog, Ashton. Happy birthday to my dog, you know what I mean? Got to kick it out there with him, you know what I'm saying? And then on Sunday, had the chance to go and be a part of the DJ Blaze Radio Show podcast. Shout out to my dog over there, having us out there for the year-end show. Well, I'll let you kind of, as I just mentioned, we were together a bunch, but what was your New Year's and everything like as well?
The same, but yeah.
Very clearly, other than everything we did together.
But happy birthday again to my dog Ashton, man.
For sure.
Philly gave him a nice birthday present or whatnot. And yeah, definitely had a blast on Sunday. Okay. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun going out there to Crux Studios. They got it. The headquarters is laid out, man.
Yeah, shout out to Flow Town and the fellas.
Yeah, I'm always proud of them and how much they built that up out there.
The fellas have, and for us to have been a part of this network for as long as we have, we've seen some of the early stages, the early days when we were still, in people's house recording. And definitely big shout out to Deke. Says, what up, fellas? Happy New Year. Same to you, my boy. But just to have seen what the network looks like or looked like when we first started and where we at now, man, we out here doing some things, you feel me? So big shout out to them. And like you said, the show was a lot of fun, man. We had a chance to be, once again, on the DJ Blaze Radio Show podcast. If you haven't checked that out, this week's episode, the year-end review episode, man, whole lot of laughs,
it's a podcast, too. So just giving the...
Facts. It is not Carolina Sports Talk. There is not the level of... Yeah, it's a lot of fun, but there's not the level of censorship that you may experience here with the show. But overall, good weekend. Like I mentioned, 2024 has started off in a bang, and the same is true in the NFL. I know we've got a whole lot of sports, so without further ado, let's just jump straight into it and get some of these NFL scores of Week 17. The Jets fall to the Browns 37-20. Cowboys over the Lions 20-19 in a game that we have a lot to talk about with. The Texans over the Titans 26-3. Bears take down the Falcons 37-17. Ravens over the Dolphins 56-19. Big win for the Ravens, securing the number 1 seed in the AFC. Saints over the Bucks 23-13. Patriots fall to the Bills 21-27. 27 for the Bills. Cardinals over the Eagles 35-31. And the only team to not score a point in Week 17, your Carolina Panthers falling to the Jaguars 26-0. It was a rainy day in more than one way. The Colts over the Raiders 23-20. Giants fall to the Rams 26-25. 49ers easily handled the Commanders in a bounce-back game 27-10. Steelers over the Seahawks 30-23. The Bengals fall to the Chiefs 25-17. And on Sunday night, the Broncos over the Chargers 16-9. Monday Night Football concluded with the Packers over the Vikings 33-10. So what kind of stood out to you in this week's shift of or slate of NFL games?
This goes hand in hand. I know we said that we were going to talk about it, but with our takes for the year, it goes hand in hand with that. But
okay.
So should I just give my take then?
Uh-oh. Got some feedback coming in. It's your phone.
I'm trying.
A little audio difficulty. We appreciate the assistance. And we are back to the action. This is Carolina Sports Talk, your man Big Cliff, sitting in with my dog DJ High Star. Little technical difficulties, but we got it locked in. It's a live show. That's what kind of, I guess, happens during those times. But yes, if you would, and now a word from our sponsors. It would be, you know what? It would be divine to have been watching during that moment to be like, yeah, I mean, shout out to my Neo, my dog, Spring Perfect 10 in the house. But you were saying, so what we alluded to on the DJ Blaze Radio Show podcast, we had the opportunity to do the year in review, and we talked about some of the major things that happened in social media and in pop culture, not pop culture, but in the culture, essentially through 23. What we're going to do is we're going to give you guys one thing that at the end of 2024, we will all be talking about. So further ado, go ahead and jump in. What is your one, or is your, let's go one in the honorable mention.
David Tepper will be a bigger public alcoholic than Jim Irsay.
Okay. I like it. My one big thing will be at the end of the year, we will be talking about, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to dig the hot takes on because I know you're going to trash it, but I'm going to go ahead anyway. It's a hot take for me. At the end of 2024, we will be talking about Lamar Jackson being primed in that season to make a playoff run to defend his Super Bowl championship.
Okay.
I mean, something slight, something hot take. No, what you say? You just sitting there grinning, bro. What you think?
Yeah. Baltimore looks good. That can go right into, again, as far as stuff that were taken away from the weekend. One of them definitely was the dominant win by Baltimore over Miami. I've already heard a lot of Baltimore fans defending, the Ravens and stuff from, just different things that they're going through. As far as, I think from Miami side, people are murmuring in the media about them, running up the score on them and stuff like that. And they're like, yo, y'all just did that. Like,
literally put 70 on the Broncos.
Right. So what are we talking about? But they've gone from, if they was any kind of dark horse before, to
now they're on everybody's radar. It reminds me, but just at a different pace. But when the Panthers in 2015 were just running through everybody, it was like, okay, but they're winning that, but they were supposed to. And then it's like by the end of the season, folks was like, but this Panthers team is kind of like, no, they really aren't like that. Very similarly, they're a squad that I think doesn't get the respect that they deserve. My only worries and concerns about them may be the defense. At the end of the day, there's a lot of youth that they'll be facing on the AFC side of the playoffs, and so I hope that they can sustain long enough to make that run and give Lamar and that offense the chance to kind of do what they need to do. And I would love to see so many of them fellas get their ring, man. To finally see Lamar get one, to see Jadeveon get his. It's like
Odell get another one.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's something I think I brought up in a past show is the value that he brings to the team. But, they look great. They look great. I wanted to talk about a couple other games, though, because you alluded to it when you was running down the scores. What you feel about the Dallas game, man? The Dallas Lions game. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. I'm going to just go ahead and jump to the end. We had a chance to watch the game with a Dallas fan during that time out celebrating Ashton. And I mentioned then that I don't really mind. I don't hate Dallas as a team as their fans. But at the end of the day, when Dallas does Dallas things, then I start hating Dallas again. For those who may have missed it, there was an opportunity for the Detroit Lions. God knows. For the Lions to be able to take the lead or with a 2-point conversion. They had just come down the field and scored. And Dan Campbell mentioned in the post game that he talked to the referees before the game and said, if we have to run this play, this is who is going to be reporting as eligible. This is what it's going to look like. So when he comes to you, he'll know what to do. They said, okay. And then when it actually came to it, there were 3 players that went to them. And for some reason that confused the referee, despite the individual who reported, number 74, literally did this. And then he went and told the defense, hey, 74, and pointed at him. There's video, if you can go back and see on social media, there's video of the referee pointing to who did it. And then when he caught the touchdown, all of a sudden now it's a penalty. And the head ref that announced it, which is the wildest thing to me, who told the defense, he had the authority to be like, no, he reported, didn't correct it, and down. And essentially Dallas did Dallas things. Now, we talked about it, I think, during the time, that in reality, Dan Campbell should have kicked the field goal. If we're being honest about it, after that penalty brought it back, he had a chance to kick the field goal and just go ahead and tie the game, but he didn't. And so it really, really at that point, it felt like, yeah, Dallas you, but then you turn around and Detroit it yourself by not kicking the field goal, tying the game, and then going and playing extra football. So overall, it was a Dallas being Dallas, but it was also Detroit being Detroit.
It supports all of the tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists out there that feel like the NFL's rigged, because y'all already know where I stand at on any of that going for it. But I give you some grace when we heard afterwards about the plans, you know what I'm saying, the plans or the game plan prior to, that's fine. But when you get into that pickle and it's like having 3 chances in a random shootout and you keep going back to the block. Let me shoot you now. Like, or your parents is like, yo, you need to stop hanging out in the hood, all right? There's your last chance. And they took the last chance and still rolled the dice.
Nah, I can get it this time. Yeah, nah. I agree. It was a lot, but overall, still a great game. The Lions have their division wrapped up. They've made the playoffs. They know who they are. It's like, hey, let's go for it. And he gave his team a chance to play and win. And so ultimately, it's
another perspective to look at it as well. They had the division sewed up. You want to get into IWDL?
Absolutely. That's exactly where I want to go to. So next up, we will jump into impressive win, disappointing loss for week 17. So without further ado, let's start disappointing loss. Give me your honorable mention and disappointment loss.
Slow down. All right. Let me start off with just the disappointing loss. Because
I won't get, go ahead. Like you couldn't give both. Go ahead, man.
Nah, the disappointing loss, alluded to it earlier. It was the birthday present that was given to Ashton with the Eagles losing. What was that? The Seahawks that they played? Or the Cardinals? The Cardinals, I'm sorry.
Losing to the Cards.
What was it, 35-31? Or was that a different game?
35-31.
Yeah, that just the slide that they're on is not the time that you want to go on that type of slide as far as losing streak or whatnot. And yeah, so we've seen for weeks the chinks in everyone's armor. Or and to your point the other week, the injuries and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought about that. Thought about that. And a lot of the injuries you were talking about are on the inside or on the line itself. And is there an argument to be made that the brotherly shove or the tush push is wearing down after 18 weeks? Or, right now, of course, like 17 weeks or whatever we've been.
Right.
But is that an argument to be made?
I think possibly, but the biggest contributor, the biggest factor to me is that it is that team is just decimated with injuries. And then now as they're trying to get back to a point where they can play a certain caliber of ball,
Push.
He's just gonna blame the tush push on all of the demise and downfall. Hey, I don't mind, because I said from the beginning I didn't like it. Shout out to my dog KP. I'm late, but I'm just make sure y'all talk good about my Lions. Yes, we talked about how they were robbed in Dallas this past week.
What else did you talk about? You said the Lions were the.
Let me do this. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna build up to the shade. Nah, they were definitely robbed in Dallas, but then they turned around and did one of the most Detroit thing possible. So your Lions, you know what I mean? I know y'all, I don't know how y'all taking it up there in Detroit right now. Probably really cold because it's cold down here, so I can only imagine. But nonetheless, yeah, y'all doing your things, but stop doing dumb stuff and silly stuff. Shout out to Dr. J.B. Buford. No, they trying to trick us. Listen, so
he's a Cowboys fan, I believe.
JB,
I believe that. I believe JB. Yeah,
you a Cowboy fan? Oh man, stop it! He too smart, man. Come on, Lions. Nah. So we're talking. We'll let them go in the comments as they're going on. This is Carolina Sports Talk. It's your man Big Cliff sitting in with my dog DJ High Star. We are here in Patriot Patty Studios. We are currently going through a little impressive win, disappointing loss. Do you have an honorable mention for your disappointing loss?
Yeah. Our team was losing. Team was losing so bad that libations and spirits got thrown into the situation, literally. So yeah, ours has definitely made my honorable mention. And I'm talking about the Carolina Panthers, by the way, getting shut out in Jacksonville and alluding to some stuff we'll talk about later. But yeah, so that's an honorable mention for me. I mean, we can talk about it now if you.
We can, and I really wish I hadn't let you do that, because I'm in reality 1,000% keeping it a buck. My disappointing loss of the week goes to the Carolina Panthers fans for not only having to support a team that does not score points on the field. JB definitely a Cowboy, but it definitely goes out to us not only having the disappointment of on the field, but we have to deal with David Tepper as an owner. For those who may have missed it, during that 26-0 drubbing, David Tepper was upset and yelling or fussing with some random Jacksonville fan and decided to do the whole and splash his drink. He didn't throw the cup, but he splashed the drink on a fan. And as a result, the NFL did their investigation and fined him to the tune of $300,000. Now, we hear that number. It's a lot to us. Perspective matters, because when you're a billionaire, that's more like somebody saying like a $500 fine for us. I don't want to give you $500. It's going, not going to break me, but it's going to be annoying enough that I'd be like, all right, cool. I don't want to do that no more. For him, $300,000 will definitely happen for that. But ultimately,
let alone if you get any lawsuits or anything like that.
Because whomever he threw that on, anybody got wet. Oh, the mental anguish of the embarrassment of the world knowing that I got water thrown on me can literally, and he'll have to come open his checkbook at the minimum for a settlement. Shout out to Ron Wyman, my boy says, where's the comment? He threw that drink for sure, not the cup, but the drink. He definitely, yeah. And so again, there's even a post that some of the Riot fans put out saying, we're sorry for anyone getting wet when we were splashing, having fun, like trying to play it off, but David Tepper at this point is showing himself to not only be a poor owner, but like kind of a jerk a little bit. So what are your thoughts overall with basically the whole situation with him throwing the water or the drink or whatever it was on the fan?
It was childish, man. I would say that he threw a Tepper tantrum. I need the timing to be better next time. I know because we just started back. I'm sorry. Happy New Year. You're right. It's a temper tantrum, y'all.
A temper tantrum. All right, that's enough.
Yeah.
Wasn't that funny?
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, stop. Yo, relax. Simmer down, my boy.
But yeah, what else can happen in the TV show that is, or the sitcom that is the Carolina Panthers?
Literally
this season,
Shout out to Patrice Burgess. Tepper got a temper.
Yeah.
The jokes are just kind of writing themselves there.
But think about it. Because just like we did the meme show at DJ Blaze, you had the strike, the potential strike or whatever on March, peaceful March, peaceful protest.
They've also been a petition signed and started
then
to get him up out of here.
Right. And then you had the stands, the picture of the stands, like all of these moments. So that was just another moment, for the Carolina Panthers. It's stuff that contributes to making you the laughing stock of the league. So like when the Jets had the butt fumble or like the bad news bears or something, or teams be having paper bags over their head, it just contributes to us being a laughing stock.
The shade that the Cowboys fans consistently throw.
It's more right.
Did Tepper connect with the throw? Because most Panther passes haven't.
Nice. It's nice.
I don't like it though, because it was good. Okay. Gotcha. You got that off, but I don't like that. If you haven't done all that you have done for the city of Orangeburg, Mark, we would have had a problem. But nonetheless, shout out to my dog Harold Young, man. But ultimately, I read an article. Well, excuse me. I read the headline of an article that as I started to read it, I was like, I'm not doing this to myself. It said, have Panthers fans truly hit rock bottom? And I think the answer to that question is, duh.
Right. I would have said last season. We just stayed there.
Like the lack of consistency, the ultimate nothingness that is the direction of this franchise. I can't see us being able to acquire any reputable coaches and or GMs because they know what kind of owner that we have. I don't see us being put in a position, unfortunately, with the talent that we have, because what more than likely will happen, no marquee free agents are going to want to come. I know Adam Thielen and the boys, we believe it's not happening at this point. And I think not only are we at rock bottom, but I expect and anticipate us to maintain this trajectory of nothingness for the foreseeable future. And it's just
walking on the seafloor.
Man, let's get out. I don't even want to talk about football but we do want to talk about our impressive wins of the week. I will start my impressive week. The impressive win of the week belongs to the San Francisco 49ers in a bounce back game. I know that there's a lot of parity. I know that if anything, to me, it speaks more volume to what the Baltimore Ravens are versus the 49ers, but for them to have done what they did last week and then the 49ers to bounce back this week over the Commanders, it speaks to who both of those teams are. And I fully anticipate and would love to see that as my NFC Super Bowls. Thank you. Good night. NFL championship game is what was wanting to come out, but it's like, no, there's a word for that game. That is what I would like to see as my Super Bowl game. So my impressive win of the week.
49ers and the Ravens.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That would I think I mentioned it, if not to you, was it when we were on the way to Florence, rematch of the Harbaugh Bowl from a few years back when the Colin Kaepernick led 49ers were there and fell to the Joe Flacco Ravens. So yeah, I'd love to see that remix, but
won't be the last time that y'all hear Harbaugh on this show. But yeah, my impressive win
message.
It's gonna pain me to say, because of course it's not the Carolina Panthers, but I have to give it up to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Shout out to Be
winning
Easy.
30-23 against Seattle, the Seahawks last week, going into Christmas. The chances may have been like 10% or something like that, or the odds are less than 10% for them to make it to the playoffs. They needed to beat, who was it that they played? They needed to beat Seattle, and then New England played Denver, and they needed New England to win, which they did. And this week they took care of business against the Seahawks, and then next week they're gonna play a Ravens team without Lamar Jackson starting. Because why play him? You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the Steelers. They're doing what the Eagles should be doing, like trending upward. But also wanted to shout out real quick. Mason Rudolph, couple stats with the game. Mason Rudolph, 18 for 24, 274. Najee Harris, 27 carries for $122, 2 tutties, doing all of that in week 17, not anywhere else when I needed him on my fantasy squad. So thank you again, Najee. And then George Pickens, 7 catches for $131. So yeah, shout out to the Steelers, y'all.
Yeah, I'm glad you did mention that, because I do want to, if I can get the bank to work right, give a special shout out to Mason Rudolph, Rock Hill, South Carolina's own. This winning streak that they are on is largely as a result of him being able to stretch that field. He doesn't have a whole bunch of receivers, but Pickens and a couple of those fellas out there doing their thing. And as you mentioned, they are playing the right kind of football at the right time. So even if I don't believe that they'll be a Super Bowl contender, they're going to make a whole lot of folks mad and work for whatever games that they do have to come and play coming up. So definitely excited for that. Before we move forward, I definitely got to give a big time shout out our dog, Panthers reporter, my guy, Eric Tyner. What's good, bro? We miss you, man. Look forward to getting you back on the show real soon, man. Heal up. My boy got injured out there at basic training with the Marine Corps, but we know he's going to bounce back and come back even better than ever, man. So we're definitely excited to see him. Really quickly, again, before we continue to move forward, one question we want to take from the audience. This is a serious question. What did y'all get from McCaffrey and DJ Moore? Can't remember. So for the DJ Moore trade, essentially, it turned into
tuna sandwich.
It was DJ Moore and a first rounder this year for the first overall pick last year. So we were able to draft our current quarterback, Mr. Shortman himself. Now, one thing to consider is, and Deke mentioned it a little bit earlier, that with the loss this week, the Carolina Panthers have officially secured the #1 pick for the Chicago Bears. It's like, hey, you guys, we don't want it, and we're going to make sure that y'all get a good one. Like, I don't know if this was like payback for them giving us Moose and Greg Olsen back in the day or what, but we definitely made sure we could do all that we did to allow them to get that #1 pick. So it'll be interesting to see with as many, because there's a lot of talented quarterbacks in the college game. We'll talk about a couple of them a little bit later when we get into some of the championship games from over the weekend. But it'll be interesting to see if they are done with their current quarterback, Mr. Ohio State, but they got the #1 overall pick, so they got options. I wouldn't be surprised if some way they were able to take and manifest that, similar to what they did, get some other dupe like they got us to trade up and get that pick and even, better position themselves and just make a run for it with Fields and just surround him with better talent, better offensive line, better money, better everything. But nonetheless, everything's better. What you're talking about. But for the Christian McCaffrey, we were just able to essentially recoup a lot of the draft capital that we had given up in the previous 2 years for the Sam Darnold trade and for a couple of other things. And so Christian just allowed us to have a regular draft last year, and then DJ Moore and a current pick were for our current quarterback. So
any honorable mentions?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, I just did want to give a shout out to the Joe Flacco Bowl on Thursday night, because it happened so long ago.
Right.
You know what I mean?
A whole lot happened since then, right?
They dominated in their win 37-20. So, yeah, shout out to them. And the other honorable mention that I had was...
The other. And on another... Go ahead, man.
Nah, never mind then. Never mind.
Nah, bro. If you wanted to, man, go ahead on, man.
I'm good. I actually lost it.
Well, in no case. Yep. Shout out to my dog. Gerard says, I'm late to the party, but I'm here. Welcome, man, my dog, as always. Glad to have you joining us, man. My dog pulled up to all the live shows that we do. So definitely a supporter of Carolina Sports Talk. Shout out to my boy, for real. All right, as we move forward, it is time to talk a little association. You want to drop some NBA scores for man?
I thought we were going to talk a little NCAA. Some of the bowl games.
Yeah, but
my bad. My fault.
Am I out of order?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
I wasn't ready.
Definitely. Well, we will stay, instead of talking to the association and going to the hardwood, let's stay on the field but get to the other guys who get paid to play. Because once upon a time, hey, different world. But NCAA, man, the games this weekend were a little bit astonishing to me. I'm not even gonna hold you. If you had given me 10 chances to pick the national championship, the current matchup would have likely been the 11th that I would have picked. And naturally, it's not that many. That could be possibilities. But nonetheless, Washington surprised me in many ways when I thought Texas was giving them the game, couldn't do anything, and then even in that furious comeback at the end. But the Washington game was big, and then also Alabama falling. So for those who missed it, Alabama lost. Alabama fell to Michigan, sending Michigan to the national championship, in Washington again over Texas. Of those two games or any others this over the weekend, any other bowl games, what kind of stood out to you in college football?
Well, really just, of course, like those two big games, but the dominating win from Georgia over Florida State. It was just, it was a routing, and it was a message that Georgia was sending. Because this is all beautiful, beautiful poetry. So the teams that get knocked out, that have kind of arguably the best argument to be in the championships, they both play each other. The number
Florida
one
State
team,
and Georgia.
Right? Georgia beats up on Florida State to send their message, and then
63-3.
And then one of the most controversial headlines of the season, that team perseveres to be able to beat their team in this semifinals and are primed to play in a national championship game. So if nothing else says that gambling works, ladies and gentlemen, it's right here.
Listen,
before you. So yeah, that I mean, on both sides of the coin, I can imagine that there are tons of folks that have lost and won plenty of money this NCAA season.
Without doubt. Now, I will say this. All of the storylines that happened with, we'll call them the final six throughout the end of the season, throughout this playoff, are very much supportive to why we need
4+2.
The 4+2. Yeah, there we go. Why we need the expansion, why I think that they fought for it. And I would not be surprised if we have a field of 64 at some point. I don't think that'll be coming soon, but something similar where there's like a huge tournament, similar to what basketball does, because they think of, well, everybody's got a chance and all of that. And you, of course, seedings and all of that. But if not full 64, I see it expanding even past 12. I can see it coming past 12. I can already, because if you think about it, Georgia proved why we need more than 4. Florida State, if healthy and if they have those additional 23 players, show why there's at least a need for, you know what I'm saying, additional. So there's so many teams that, if given an opportunity on any given Saturday, I think could really pull it through.
Well, and then I'm sorry to cut you off. What really blew the lid off of it was TCU last year, I think. Like kind of starting that conversation, like giving arguments to teams.
Shout out to Deke with the facts historian. The Huskies last won a title in 91 when they shared it with Miami, and Michigan last won a title in 97 when they shared it with Nebraska. So definitely
for Michigan.
Yeah. Wow. It's been a while. Yeah, definitely. Another thing that this is only the third time that there's a matchup of two teams that are with at least 14 wins. And so the last 2 times was LSU beating up on Clemson and then Clemson beating Alabama. So pretty big deal. And even the storylines with the quarterbacks, if with Washington's quarterback having started his career at Indiana, having gone through so many injuries, coming back, showing that perseverance to then transfer and fight his way into being the quarterback that he is, ended up being a runner-up in the Heisman Trophy this year. Definitely a great storyline for that. I'm a Harbaugh fan. I'm not even gonna lie. I like Michigan. I ain't liked Washington since what they did to my boy Tyrone Willingham back in the day. Only thing I really even liked coming out of Washington was my boy Shaq. Shaq. I want to give him all the Shaq, but Shaq Thompson for the Carolina Panthers. He actually played both safety, linebacker, and running back at the University of Washington. So shout out to them. But other than that, I just want to see a good game, and I hope Michigan does pull it through. Do you have any preferences for champions for the game?
I'm not like an Ohio State fan by far, so I'm fine with Michigan winning. It's just even kind of want Michigan to win a little bit, just for the storyline of it.
Yeah, me too. I'd love to see the black quarterback do his thing. Shout out again to him, but yeah, no, I don't like your school, bro. So, a lot of good comments coming out. We appreciate it. Y'all make sure you're dropping in the link in the comments. Check out, let us know where you're listening from across the country. This is Carolina Sports Talk. It's your man, Big Cliff, sitting in with my dog, DJ High Star, here at Patriot Patio Studios. Patriot Patsy. I had to get it in one time, nonetheless. But anything else you want to talk about college football since I skipped it the first time?
Well, no, but if we are gonna be getting to NBA, I did want to. If we
just
not,
before we
fine,
do,
because that right, I don't want to get there yet either. So
yeah, now I did want to make mention in the latest HBCU football story, my man KZ Adams is coming home, so shout out to him. Talented 4-star running back, originally signed with Georgia State. Didn't have quite the season that he wanted there. Decided to enter the portal and said, I want to go be a part of a winning team. And his choice, the South Carolina State Bulldogs. And so I think KZ, with what coach is able to do, knowing how he runs the ball, even seeing how he had the Benedict Tigers squad doing their thing, I think that this is a good move, good pickup for coach, and definitely going to be a good fit for the Bulldogs.
When you say coming home, where is he from?
He's from the state of South Carolina.
Oh, gotcha. But you're not particular on like.
Oh, I don't know exactly where. I just know he's from South Carolina.
Smooth.
Also in HBCU ball, I think Deke just mentioned it. Willie Simmons, coach of the FAMU Rattlers, has left to take the running backs job at Duke. If this was big deal, no thing, would you say this was a big deal or no thing?
I'll say big deal.
Okay, I do too. Not just because he's leaving an HBCU, but because he is the kind of coach that any of the other HBCUs would have wanted as their head coach. And so him to take a running backs job says, I think, a lot about what he feels the trajectory in that field or in that kind of niche is. I can't put words in his mouth. Maybe if we can, connect with him and be able to get him on the show, we can get his perspective a little bit more as well. But
I wonder if the differential in pay, whether he took a
pay cut or anything. I'm almost willing to say he probably makes more doing that for a school like exactly. Yeah, and KZ, thanks Jarvis letting us know that KZ is from Columbia, South Carolina. Got to give a shout out to my big cuz Andre. We appreciate you. Cliff, looking good, cuz. Oh, happy New Year. Same to you, King. And Jarvis also mentioned specifically, again, the great collegian. I think to know that players of his caliber are there, just, you know what I mean? I'm not even going to get into that. We're definitely going to have a show with regards to the new rules and the realignment that's happened in the state. But they fussing, and we let them do their thing in the comments. But overall, I'm really glad to see the young man coming back, like I said, to the state of South Carolina and not playing far from home and knowing what he's capable of and that squad. Definitely going to be excited to see that. So at this point, we can move forward into the association.
I wanted to, before we get to the association, I did want a little interactive part. I see the comments are kind of jumping already. This is going to be a very, very quick either or. All right. And where we land on pause is going to be kind of the question that I wanted to ask before we got to the NCAA.
Okay.
All right. So, but we'll start off with the NCAA. Nick Saban or Harbaugh?
Harbaugh.
All right. And I'm giving the audience a chance. All right. Kendrick or Drake?
You're asking me or the audience?
Yes, you. That's number 2, Kendrick or Drake?
Those are two different things.
If you had to pick.
If I could only Kendrick.
Okay. No, you could be a Kendrick guy. Just own it for right now. And then Michael Jackson or Prince?
Prince.
All right. All of those are examples, of course, of the, you know what I'm saying, the either ors of our nation and how we are like Coke or Pepsis or whatever like that. The final one, and again, in the audience, feel free to answer, but the final one is Pat or Lamar. Mahomes?
Are we talking now? Because specificity matters. Are we talking this season or as a career?
Listen, I didn't specify with nothing else.
Yeah, but you're going to need to with this one though. Like, because if we're talking this season, I'm taking Lamar. If we're talking
qualifying Quincy over here, y'all.
Stand on it. I'm going Lamar. Stop playing with me.
All right,
I'm going Lamar.
And y'all don't get in on Twitter.
Listen, but how about this?
Nothing about this is a colorism war. We're not talking.
Apparently, I ain't alone.
Listen. Now, yeah, he looks very justified in his contract negotiations and stuff like that.
Shout out to Deke saying Lamar, Gerard saying Lamar, Carlos Root to the Bruh saying Lamar, Al Hump saying Mahomes for the career. And that's why I asked that. If we're talking career, but then if I'm thinking about it, he is a product of a better environment. I think if you put Lamar Jackson on that very same Chiefs team with Andy Reid and the squad that he's had, I think he wins those same rings. It's no doubt in my mind about that, because this is the first year that he's had the talent, the high level of talent that he has on the offensive side, and has a defense that can play. And we see what they're able to do, especially against some of the best ones. And so, as my dog said,
healthy, and he's been healthy.
Exactly. And I'm standing on business. I'm taking Lamar.
All right. So yeah, man. Just wanted to get that interaction. Y'all feel free to still answer the other ones too. You know, Kendrick Lamar, or Drake, and Michael Jackson or Prince. I think, the Harbaugh Saban thing was just something for me to segue.
Okay.
You know, but now we are ready for the association. Whenever you are, maestro. These scores are from a day after New Year's Day. Happy New Year's, everyone, again. Tuesday, January the 2nd. These scores are from the 76ers beat the Bulls 110-97. The Grizzlies beat the Spurs 106-98. The Pelicans beat the Nets 112-85. The Thunder over the Celtics 127-123. The Warriors beat the Magic 121-115. And the Hornets beat the Kings last night 111-104. Real quickly, because we'll get to it. Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. But I just wanted to bring up the power rankings, some of the latest power rankings in the NBA.
While you're pulling those up,
yeah,
can I read your LB's comment real quick?
Please.
R. Kelly over Prince and MJ.
All right. Okay. All right. I'm like, sure, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you absolutely.
Right into that.
Albert, we are going to have a long conversation about that comment, my boy. But nonetheless, what are the power rankings looking like in the league?
Oh, I still haven't gotten them up, but no, nevertheless, but Boston, but Boston, I know that they were leading. Dang, I really want to find this too. But Boston was leading. They were number one.
Okay. Was it the NFL power rank? NFL, NBA power rankings, or ESPN?
Yeah. Oh, it was ESPN. It was ESPN. But so, anyways, while I bring that up, I did want to say that there was a Morant highlight out there. I didn't know if you missed it or not, but he caught a poster on Wemby. Something to check off the bucket list. This is a good time as any right now, I think, to address the last show and kind of how I'll stand on that hill with you, bro. I'll say we both kind of downplayed the return. It was still kind of halftime at the one of the first of two New Orleans games.
Okay.
And then if you wanted to address that at all,
So we talked about Ja coming back, and at that point it was his first game back, and we said, "Oh man, get your ace." We just talked about how
I am the ace. Sorry, go ahead.
No, not your ace. I'm talking about your neo ace.
I see him. Okay.
I got to stop talking about basketball for just 1 second and address Alexis Pipkin for saying Carolina. Sell the team today, sell the team tomorrow, and sell the team forever. First of all,
Reese.
First of all, naysayer, what we're not going to do.
I thought the first.
I'm not. We won't. But no, where was I talking about with basketball? Because that completely threw me off.
Okay, because the Panthers. Yeah, you was.
Yeah, I wanted to get saucy.
But you had to show your contrition
Yeah.
about the Josh slander. You were showing your contrition.
So in his first game coming back, we not so much slandered, but we might have slandered.
I said enough wheeze.
Now we talked about it. I said I hope he doesn't get off to a slow start. Whoop. And my boy didn't get off to a slow start. Not only has he not, they have gotten off to a lightning start. If I'm not mistaken, they were 6-0, 5-1 since he returned.
And he definitely grabbed a player of the week. I know SGA got it this week, so he probably got it last week. But yeah, they've been on a tear. They've been on a tear, to say the least.
Definitely got to give a shout out to 721 Hulk Sports, the Carolina King himself, Jason Lee, my dog.
He's rebranding.
721 Hulk Sports is his
show?
YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's got a little situation going on the YouTube. You know what I mean? But shout out to dog. But yeah, Ja has been balling, and the team has been responding. If he continue, I don't know how long he can continue on the current tear that he is, but if he somehow manages to continue to do that, and Marcus Smart gets healthy, then they've got their big man, the Samoan, coming back as well. His name escapes me. I can't think of it right now. Steven Adams. If all of these things happen, I could see them making a tear and even going at the undefeatable Jazz and
Nuggets.
Denver Nuggets, and really making a run at an NBA title. I love the way that they're playing ball. I love how I said it a couple of years ago. Ja has that dog in me. He's got the dog in him, that Mamba mentality that I feel like if he can sustain at the level he's at now, defensively, he's even starting to pick it up. This team could be real scary coming and moving into June.
Yeah, I agree.
Got some signs saying that the audio was out. Hopefully they can hear us now. This is Carolina Sports Talk. It's your man, Big Cliff, sitting in with my guy, DJ Highstar. We are live. No sound.
Okay.
All right. Are we back? And we back.
All right. Cool. So where we were at, though, was with the power rankings real quick. The NBA power rankings. Boston's at number 1. Milwaukee's at number 2. Minnesota's at number 3. At number 4, Oklahoma City Thunder with a record of 23-9. Denver is at number 5. Let's just stop there then, I guess, and talk about that. The top 5. Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah. Rounding out the top 5, of course, is Denver, who you mentioned is known as a juggernaut in the West or whatnot, but they got some company this season, and a lot of folks that's not scared. I mean, I didn't think that it would take this long for Wemby, maybe it's naivete or whatever, to kind of make an impact. I thought that the Spurs would kind of be louder, if you will, this season. But what's some of your thoughts on that top 5 of the power ranking?
I like the levels. I don't know what it is about the Bucks, but even with my boy Dame Time, I don't really never be paying them no attention. They got a whole championship, and I'd be like, "Oh, the Bucks. All right, cool."
Eastern Conference.
The Timberwolves are a little bit of a surprise to me, as are the Thunder. But the 1 and 2, I wouldn't be surprised if that's our Eastern Conference final.
Yeah,
it fits, with the exception, like I mentioned, of the Timberwolves and the Thunder. Although they are playing, Chet Holmgren seems like he's playing a little bit better than even Wemby. It doesn't surprise me that a rookie is struggling. Not to mention a rookie who weighs like 112 pounds. but I think with the way that they hyped him, I expected a little bit more.
That's
but
what I'm saying.
But not much because again, he's still a rookie and he's Mr. Thin Man himself.
So with the Thunder, though, I'm glad that you brought that up because again, they have a host of talent there. They buried their other giddy up or whatever, but they buried that quick, and the talent and their play is speaking louder than anything else. Shout out to SGA as well. There's a lot of this young talent that has anywhere from 3 to 5 years in the league where they're finding their speed, they're finding their tempo, and they're thriving. And then of course they're working hard as far as on their skills and their game, but we're at a place again where the level of talent is all elevated. So anywhere you turn, you're gonna run into a superstar.
Absolutely. And we talked about it. I want to say as far back maybe as 2021, how in the NFL we were in a position where we were watching the transition of the power, essentially, where all of the older quarterbacks that we were used to, that we grew up watching, and who were the NFL for a long time for us, were kind of ushering themselves out. And I feel like we're watching that happen in the NBA as well. We talked, we've seen like the Carmelo Anthony's gone, the Dwayne Wade's gone, and soon LeBron will be gone. And we're transitioning to the time where the Shai Gilgeous-Alexanders and the Ja Morants of the world are going to actually start being the focal points and the pinnacle guys, because they've got those, like you mentioned, those years of experience. A couple of these guys have gone through a whole bunch of losing and been like, yeah, we good with that now, and are stepping up and becoming marquee players. And before you know it, Joel Embiid is going to be the old man someplace in the league, and we will be looking at even these guys as being the next generation. So it's definitely kind of an exciting opportunity to kind of witness this transition, if you would.
Take a look at the outline, because you did that. That was slick, man. That was flawless.
On how some of those transition.
If we're talking about transitions.
Speaking of transition.
I wanted to talk about kind of what's going on out there in the Bay Area with Golden State. I mentioned they won last night, but they've been looking like not the same Warriors team. They still are frightening because you got Steph Curry on your team. But I think the Draymond situation was of course, I think everybody saw the punch as the beginning to the end, but some people gave that grace and was like, well, let's hold out. They got rid of Jordan Poole. They read up on their money. Let's hold out and see what they can do. They're going to be professional. The band's getting back together again. And you know what I mean? And they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And now every night they're running in squads that's ready to, that like that Colorado effect, not to, to that extent, but y'all are the marquee team. Y'all are the dollars in the box office. So we're going to come to beat y'all, so they're getting everybody's best punch. And is it the end of the Warriors dynasty?
Not only is it the end of the Warriors dynasty, but they are, in my opinion, showing Bob Myers to be a really smart man.
Facts. And I think I had pointed it out, or what?
Did you?
Oh man, we need to listen.
Right, exactly.
I do stand on that.
Okay.
When he was leaving, well, yeah, we gotta track back these dates and match up.
Because I know what I said on the matter,
okay,
but
and what was it?
I said it's like, nah, like when he leaves, it'll be him, or I said he's leaving because they want to stick with Draymond.
Oh, okay.
I felt like that he was saying, no, we need to move on from him. It's time that this is going to mess us up. And as a result, he left. It's like, well, y'all want to do that? Cool. I'll slide. And he's shown himself to be right. And so, but what were you saying?
My Bob Myers talk was he left because he knew tough decisions were coming down the line, as far as the Wiseman, a lot of the younger talent, and then also the Clay money. But Draymond was included in that, but it just wasn't, it was just like, it looked like, y'all gonna have to make tough decisions one way or the other. So I'm out. And I think that was my rhetoric on it, or my take on it rather.
All right. So both can be true. So that'll work. But yeah, I definitely feel like I would you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stand on business with
There you
it.
go.
I'm standing on business. Where is it?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Well, I was about to do.
He's about to do it.
Hot takes.
The Golden State Warriors will, before the trade deadline, trade Klay Thompson to the Los Angeles Lakers.
You're giving that hot take.
That's my
It's
hot
more
take.
specific though, so I give you that.
They will trade Klay Thompson to the Los Angeles Lakers, and we will go on to win the NBA championship. Your thoughts?
You talking about this season?
Yes. 2024.
All right, y'all. So Halliburton, no, I wanted to give him some
Jason's
love.
stupid. He must be catching up, but he said dog initials is really SGA.
Student government. That should have been his nickname, Student Government Association.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
I don't even
Halliburton.
know what those faces are from your LB. Sorry.
Halliburton put up like 23 assists, I want to say, against the Knicks the other night. So wanted to shout him out and some other, just shouting out the young talent out there that's playing the game the right way. Shout out to y'all. But speaking of the Knicks have been involved in a trade. Wasn't Buster, it wasn't Block. It was a trade.
It was a trade.
So the Knicks acquired forward OG Anu. See,
Anunoby.
And I practiced it before.
You practiced it.
But anyways, OG Anunoby in a trade where they sent RJ Barrett. See you later. And Emmanuel Quickly. My dog. Respect, bro. Respect. And a 2024 second round pick to the Toronto Raptors. The team has announced that on Saturday. The Knicks also are getting forward Precious Achiuwa
That's actually a good pickup.
and Malachi Flynn in the deal. And Anunoby, of course, is the big name in there. He debuted the other night with like 17 points for the Knicks. But my thoughts on the trade. You didn't.
Did you ask her about? I was like, wait, did you just ask yourself the question? Hey, so DJ Highstar, being a Knicks fan and the resident Knicks fan here in the program, what are your thoughts
I just want
on
to
the
point
trade?
out. I just want to point out first that the audience, Carolina Sports Talk Nation, y'all need to give me credit for persevering through Panther Talk, Warriors Talk.
Lakers? No. Your Warriors.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead. Oh,
Persevering through Panther Talk,
I see what you're saying.
Warrior Talk,
Mm-hmm.
and now I have to speak on this. I've been saying that out of RJ and out of the whole team, I thought RJ had to go. So I'm not sad seeing him go. Emmanuel Quickly, again, slept on and very valuable. I think his value shows with the fact that they only had to give up those two, to land the deal, but and of course the draft pick. But yeah, man, I'm sad to see Quickly go. To me, he'll be a Knicks forever, like Shumpert, similar to like
Facts.
Tim Hardaway or J.R. Smith. So thank you for your service as a Knick, man.
I feel like I almost want to hit play the
you don't got to. You don't got to. You
like
don't got
that
to.
end of the road for you, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? But no, I agree. In your opinion, again, now that you are emotionally, he's emotional. Told us how you feel about everything and losing the players. Which side do you feel like won the trade? Do you think that you will be better off with OG, or you think the getting rid of some of those left hands will hurt you? Where are you at with it?
Hurt what? Come on, man. Yeah, it's a mutually beneficial trade. To be frank, like again, they got a very, very good defender in Quickly and a 3-point threat in Quickly. We know. See, I don't have an issue with RJ. I kind of do because
I was like, wait, what? Go ahead.
He's just too ball dominant and stuff, and ball heavy. The ball stops whenever it gets to him. So that's my thing.
Let me ask you this.
Players.
Watching that young man in high school, he was a different type of player. I think his time at Duke stunted him a little bit because he was projected to have been the number 1 pick prior to Zion's one season in Cameron Indoor. Do you think that he's trying to compensate or overproject from?
Well, go ahead. Finish the question.
You say he what?
Finish the question.
Do you think that he's trying to compensate from not being able to shine or not being able to be the player he was supposed to be from during that time in college?
Since they drafted him. Because he was arguing that year that he should be number 1, and his agents. It was a nasty year, but his agents and all of that was arguing that, hey, for all intents and purposes, he's a better fit than Zion for your team and stuff like that. So yeah, right. from draft day, he's been trying to do that.
He, if nothing else, in Toronto, he'll have that opportunity because they now have,
and it's his hometown.
Exactly. Yeah, he's where he needs to be. I think it'll be a better fit for him and for that team. So definitely understand why they did that. Shout out to your Alb saying, but they should have had Donovan Mitchell. Thoughts?
Yeah.
Easily,
right.
One word. He's right.
Nah, but at this point, we need. It's kind of like with the Lakers. Like, let's stay away from the sexy names and the big, like, granted, if you can land the box office, land that, but build a team up with some, some valuable pieces or whatnot that can contribute. I saw it. I forgot where I heard it at, but they were saying pretty much the Knicks issue. It sounded like I want to say it was Kenny Smith or Jalen Rose, but they're saying the Knicks issue is any team that they go up against, they don't have the best player on the floor for most nights. So, and that's the same thing with Carolina Panthers. I hate to bring it back, circle back around, but when I heard that resonated like, wow, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Anytime you go up against, a team where you don't have the best player on the field or on the court, then you're playing behind the 8 ball. And a lot of nights the Knicks don't, even though they have good players and they have great chemistry, they don't have the best player on the floor.
Definitely. Time will tell. And I think sooner than later, we'll definitely see what this trade is and who's going to be ultimately the winner with that. This is Carolina Sports Talk. It's your man, Big Cliff, sitting in with my dog, DJ High Star. We're here at Patriot Patty Studios. We are almost up out of here, but before we go, we want to get our favorite segment in and your favorite segment in the door.
That's a big deal.
That ain't no thing.
Big deal, no thing. We tell you sports headlines and tell you whether they're a big deal or no thing.
Can they participate?
Yes,
please.
In fact, got to give some love to my dog. Spring 2005 of the legendary Lambda Sigma chapters. Shout out to 03 and 06. X, we see you, my dog. Yeah, I thought you was giving dog a high five. Right. Shout out to the bros. But no, first up, we've got a video to kind of go along with this. For some of you may have missed it. The headline reads, Reese Davis, lank and naysayers. Let's just play it.
Reading LANK across the front. It's an acronym that stands for Let a Naysayer Know. Being told by his former offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien.
That is not what I thought.
Is that not what you thought?
Boy, let a naysayer know.
Let a naysayer know.
Of course.
The professional's right in the middle of his lead. That's all right. I just keep going.
You almost lost me. It got real tight up here as you were. I just want to let you know.
Reese, you were too smooth with that. I thought it was going down. It was going down out here.
Oh, sorry about it. Let a naysayer know.
Let a naysayer know.
Naysayer know. That's what we thought the whole time. That's what we all thought.
Those of us reading LANK across the front.
Yeah.
What is this? So, first of all, big deal, no thing, High Star.
Big deal. And I hope we didn't get flagged or anything.
That's a whole 60 seconds almost of that. But, oh, well, they'll be all right. Very much a big deal. So, in transparency, let's put it out there. For those who may not know, the brand LANK let a naysayer know the N in Lank stands for something of a different term for many other individuals. It is registered as an LLC as let a naysayer know, but within the culture and definitely with the young man, the N in that word stands for something.
Well, I'm about to say, what are you trying to say, Big Cliff? All right, what are you trying to say?
It stands for. I mean,
oh man, I forgot his name. The older guy that
Paul
a lot
Mooney?
of people say that looked like LeBron.
I'm looking
His
right
name
at him
is
with the hair and
D,
the,
I don't wanna say, but
yeah, go ahead.
nevertheless, they showed you know that famous interview where he's like, well, you can go and say it. Let's go ahead and say it. I don't know if you've seen that before, but man, I can't remember his name. Y'all help us out if y'all know what I'm talking about. Look like an older version of
LeBron
now version of LeBron.
Wow.
Him, Greg Oden, and LeBron are all doppelgangers.
So this guy LeBron and Greg Oden walk into a bar.
But yeah, no, and so I'll rock with Pat McAfee on this because I think his timing on this was the hilarious thing about it all. But he's a guy that he's clearly around other, like he knows like, yeah, it was just hilarious.
So if to be able to quote, not even quote, but to pull a Robert Griffin, RG3, he's invited to the cookout.
Yeah,
I do not like RG3, bro. Y'all, excuse me. We gonna pause this entire show so I can go on an RG3 rant. They went and fired my dog from ESPN because he said that RG3 was a cornball.
Rob
Parker was fired from ESPN, not so much for that, but because he's kind of doubled down and was like, "Come on, let's just be honest. He's not at the barbershops, okay? And he was not wrong.
It's a horrible Rob Parker impression. Watch how you do Queens impressions, but go ahead. He's from Queens, St. Albans.
Not only is he not invited to the cookout, but bruh is trash at what he does. Even when he's like commentating on the games, he's real life corny, bro. And I feel like ESPN, I know everything didn't work out with us with the radio gig. You feel me? I appreciate everything else that, you know what I'm saying, has come as a result of that afterwards. However, if you put me and RG3 in a room and just have like an announce off, I'll let y'all decide what's going to happen at that point. All right, we can go ahead back to Carolina Sports Talk because that dude is just trash. But nonetheless.
Oh, and the other reason why it's a big deal, I saw, online. It's like we already got the first meme of 2024 or whatever like that. So yeah, it's giving plenty of content.
Now we talked about it off air a little bit before the show about some of the names that we've seen or some of the comments, both in the comments and then even just on Black Twitter. But what are some of your favorite alternate titles that have come out as a result of this? I read one while you're pulling yours up. I read one that says, "Hey, yo, Reese Davis, easy on the hardier. It's naysay. I myself, when I retweeted it before I actually started getting into the comments, was like, yo, this naysayer here. But like, what are some of the ones that you saw out there that kind of stood out to you?
Excuse me. Naysayer, please. So there's this, what is my man's name? Look at this real quick. But there's this like drink that went viral that was there's this drink that went viral that was like it had like a cornbread muffin and a fried chicken wing on it. It's on the top of it, like garnish. And people were calling it a naysayerita.
Wow.
Yeah. They got the Terry Crews, the picture of Terry Crews from White Chicks, and it's naysayer, please. Didn't somebody tell you this was an all-white party?
I saw one that said DMX, what these women want from a naysayer. Somebody
let me know.
I think, like you mentioned, the timing of it, because Joey and Desmond were both up there and they knew what it really meant. And when he said naysayer, just like the sigh of relief that must have come from them.
I think if you heard,
is it Des Mark or no? I'm trying to think about his name at this point.
Des Howard?
No.
Yeah, your man right here. Yeah.
You said Desmond Howard?
Yeah, no, you could hear what he said. He said, "Oh, I thought you was about to
listen."
use that."
And Joey was like, "Yo, you was just way too smooth with it. You had me worried." Like all of them legitimately gave the sigh of relief, but ultimately hilarious. I think, and I mentioned it to you off air. Pat McAfee will either be lured away from ESPN for more money to somebody like Fox or something crazy, or Amazon maybe even. But if not that, they're just going to have to fire him. Moving forward, next up, Packers cornerback Alexander surprised by suspension. Big deal or no thing?
You know, oh my gosh, yes, it's just a big deal. It's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
I'm going to go the other way.
Okay,
Nah, that ain't no thing.
Why you say big
leaning.
deal?
That's where I was leaning for the record. But you want to give any context on it?
Yeah, for those who may not know, the Packers cornerback Jair Alexander, during the coin toss last week,
Right.
almost cost his team by saying, "Yeah, we want to go on defense," and the referee had to correct him. So you're saying you would like to no, we want our defense out there is what he said. So it's like y'all wanted to defer, and he looks around, yeah, that. What made it worse was that he wasn't even supposed to be out there in the first place. He just was like, yeah, no, I'm coming, and walked out onto the field with the captains at that time. And so as a result, the Green Bay Packers suspended him for hey, y'all boy, hold on. I'm going out here to do this thing, this official part of the game that I'm not a part of, but I finna do it anyway. Why do you say it's a big deal?
As one of the faces of that position around the league, being, you know, the highest paid cornerback right now at 21 M's a year, it was all like, if I was Bill Belichick or somebody, like, you know, or I just want the Bill Belichick face for the situation for the young man, because his reasoning even behind it, when like at the end of the game, he like, yeah, I'm from Charlotte, you know, I just had to put on for my city, and it's like, selfish acts, man.
I say it's no thing because and that's more to the spirit of just him being surprised, because it's like, bro, you're a liar. You went out there like with no instruction from nobody. It just was like, yeah, now I'm finna be, and then start making up your own. Like it's literally an official.
Yeah, I don't even think you could do that in high school.
Listen, when I'm let alone college, and you out here in an NFL game. Now, granted, I guess he was feeling extra loose because they were playing the Panthers. I guess they knew it was a dub. So in that regard, but like at the same time, nah, bro, don't be disrespecting my team with your not knowing the rules self. Shout out to my dog, Ralph. I'm saying, Ralph, what up, boy? You're my dog. And then, of course, he immediately follows that up with, what about them Steelers? Yeah, what about them?
I shouted y'all out earlier,
he did.
Ralph.
We talked about it. Y'all winning, secured another winning season for your coach, even though I doubt he'll be the coach this year. Crazy. Straight, 11 straight at this point without a losing?
Well, so, I was saying more or less how crazy it is that Ashton could coach the Steelers and be an Eagles fan at the same time. Shout out to everybody that knows Ashton.
Facts. Moving along, Alabama center Seth McLaughlin and 8 others to enter the transfer portal. Big deal or no thing?
Big deal.
Not only, sir, first of all, let me get you your sounder. Not only is that a big deal, that's a huge deal. Why do you say?
Man, it'll be a bigger deal if they go to Clemson. Am I right? Am I right, y'all? Am I right? All right, over here. Okay. But yeah, no. Yeah, it's just after them losses, because yeah, Nick Saban looks stressed out, man. But
you know what? I'm backing up for the first time in history. No, second time.
Yeah, it's bad.
How about the second time in history?
Nah, that ain't no thing.
I'm switching up because as I'm thinking about it.
All right. But yeah, so losing all of those players, again, it's just, to me, it's a big deal. The people that are going to land those players as well. It's just it's a big deal.
First of all, shout out to my dog AJ, root to the good bros. What's good with you, Bubba? I had to think about this. It's a big deal because that's a lot of players, and this is Alabama. And most times, Alabama, and this is literally the thought process that went through my mind as I was considering it and why I changed my mind. In most instances, Alabama is the team that says, hey, we've got all of this brand new talent getting ready to come in here. So although you were the best in your class, you were worthy of wearing this Alabama jersey. We appreciate you. We gonna holla because we got all of this new talent that's got to come in, and they make space by getting rid of their older players. That is what led me to realize that although these players are entering the transfer portal, this season was the most ridiculous because there's over, I think something said like 12,000 players in the transfer portal across the NCAA and all sports.
That they'll be receiving.
The talent that they will receive, not only in the incoming freshmen from high school, but across the board and all of this other talent, it's to be expected that there will be a whole lot of moving and shaking like that. And so they'll definitely have some slots to some folks to fill those slots easily. And that's why I say it's not a big deal to me.
I think you said it the other week, but they do need to rebrand NCAA as NFL JR.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Shout out to AJ saying Alabama Center needs to learn how to snap the ball correctly and come back another year. Or he can just go ahead someplace else where he ain't got to worry about it. Shout out to Death Row himself, Spring 2000, the Tail Dog, my dog Sam. I'm sorry to say Big Sam, RIP my LB. What's good, brothers? We out here cooling. Shout out one more time to Xavier. His comment says, before we leave NFL, will the Buccaneers win the division, Kyle Trask or Baker Mayfield?
Yo, I don't, because I love you, X. I'll honor that, but I think who did the Saints beat this past week? Was it the Falcons or the Bucks? It might have been the Bucks, I think. The Falcons. No, I'm being serious.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at the comment. What was your question?
Anybody's got it. Nah, I did hear, I heard y'all out there saying that I look like Andre 3000 without the flute. But yo, don't start Shemuel. Ashe, brother. Ashe. Let's not do this, bruh. Giving you that, man.
So if I'm being honest, I do think the Saints will win the division. And if I'm being transparent, I don't like none of y'all, and I hope none of y'all win nothing. But I would prefer the Bucks to represent just because they are playing a better brand of football right now. The Saints, anytime, and I think we mentioned this in one of the other upset losses, anytime divisional foes play each other, you can throw records out the window, and it's a whole different type situation. And so I do think the Bucks will ultimately go ahead and make that move, and I hope so because, like I said, they are the best opportunity for the division to be able to get a win in the playoffs. So shout out to Dog. We've got one more on Big Deal No Thing. This one says a sports bettor reaction after his viral winning $500,000 on a $5 bet. And the picture is just showing Buddy going crazy, but Big Deal No Thing, and then we'll talk about the ins and outs of that in just a moment.
Big deal, and shout out to Rob Bass and 50 Cent, but it's also I get money.
That's a big deal.
And you know what? Let's get it. So in case you missed it, there was a young man who made a $5 bet on a 14-leg NFL parlay, which essentially means for him to have won his bet, 14 different things needed to happen. And in this instance, he picked 14 players from across the league that all needed to score touchdowns. Those 14 players, Najee Harris, Gabriel Davis, Jahmyr Gibbs, DK Metcalf, Jerome Ford, Chris Rodriguez Jr., Jonathan Taylor, Calvin Ridley, James Conner, Raheem Mostert, Javonte Williams, Isaiah Pacheco, DeAndre Swift, and Christian McCaffrey. He picked those 14 players. All 14 of those players did, in fact, score a touchdown. And as a result, that $5 bet became nearly $500,000. I think the exact number was $493,312. It's wow. Big deal to you. You said why? Because
well, it's a sign of the times, and another sign that gambling's not about to stop no time soon. Like, there's as many of these success stories that we hear. You think about how many people or how much money is lost, and then also on the winning side of it, when you get taxed, the government's still winning. So we're not about to see the end of this at all. The levels, like we mentioned earlier, that's an NFL parlay or whatnot, but still the levels that gambling is going to, as far as like how rampant it is on the collegiate level and stuff like that, gambling's taking over. It was already here, but now it's marijuana and gambling legal. Couldn't have told me this 20 years ago.
Weed and betting. But no, I say it's a big deal, not because of everything you said is a very good point. But for me, he on some Cliff Stradamus type status, man. Some of those players are very like the Christian McCaffrey, the Najee. Some of those are good, but like Chris Rodriguez Jr., the Jerome Ford, like
that
some of those was a little bit stretching. So for him to hit on 14 different sides, that was definitely a good look and a big. Shout out to my dog Yusuf in the building. Yoshi English says my guy. Shout out to my dog, man. If y'all not checking out Eggs, Grits, and Ignorance, or if you're not listening to the relationship status podcast, are you really even listening to podcasts? I'm just saying. So that's going to do it for Big Deal No Thing, bro. Anything you want to holler at the people before we get up out of here, man?
Just look, man. Blessings to everybody in 2024. Just leave all the anything negative energy and anything back in 2023, and move forward with some optimism and and be auspicious about this year.
Absolutely. And I hate to be the inspirational guy.
You don't hate being that.
I don't really, but at the end of the day, just on a serious note, with as many folks as we have lost in 23, and even with 24 starting off the way that it has, our fraternity has suffered a major loss and losing a really, really, really good brother already this year. Y'all live intentionally, man. Love the loved ones that are there. Be the best version of yourselves, man. We appreciate you guys for checking in and tuning in with us here at Carolina Sports Talk. But we encourage you, man, go live your life to the best and the most fullest possibility. So, again, we appreciate you tuning in. I am Big Cliff. He is DJ Highstar. This has been another episode of Carolina Sports Talk. If I could find the
Eggs Blackley.
Had to get it in one time. Make sure next time you tune in, you tell your smart speaker, play Carolina Sports Talk. You can hit us up on the Sports Talk line, cliff@carolinasportstalk.net. Y'all shoot us an email. Send us a voice note. Let us know you're listening. We appreciate you for checking in. We won't holler at you too, so make sure you send that email. You can hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now TikTok at Carolina Sports Talk. Until next time, we out. Peace.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What, a vertebrae?